In North Adams, one person is dead and two others were seriously hurt after a house fire on West Shaft Road. Crews responded to that fire just after 11:30 last night, where they saw a two-family home engulfed in flames. The fire took an hour and a half to put out, and crews from multiple departments worked well into the morning. The cause is under investigation.